And we are now live. Hello, everyone out there. All the big YouTubers with no common
Mm,
sense.
mm.
All the fanboys and fake Nintendo fans that believe you know what's best for the company, you know what's coming, and you swore by an unnamed source that you did. But welcome to the OGL number 22, I believe. And today we're gonna, and this will more than likely be the only time I do this shit, but we're going to talk about the Unicorn NX. But instead of just sitting up here
Project NX,
saying,
codename NX. That's not what
true,
the system's going to be called.
exactly, and I've never referred to the next console as the NX, so I always say Nintendo's next console. But we're going to talk about it not in the same aspect as everyone else, which they always have titles such as NX, everything we know so far, and it's going to be as powerful as a PS4 Neo and things like that. It's going to run 4K gaming native. It's going to do VR. We're going to do realistic expectations based on only on the information that we have received from Nintendo and maybe a couple of rumors that have a sustainable foundation in my
Wait,
opinion,
are you
such as
talking about
Cartridge.
legitimate speculation?
Can I
Yes, I
make?
am.
Can I jump into the pool first,
Sure. And let me go ahead and let
please?
you guys introduce yourselves. And Good Shepherd, you go first.
It's all good. Shep's here, ADHD specialist. Let's do it.
Next up, we got Spryte-WiiMix.
Yeah, what's going on? Spryte-WiiMix here, and all I'm gonna say is, drinks from Sprite it contains 0% juice.
Shut up. And
uh,
Mr. Red Fox.
It's me, Mr. Red Fox. I'm currently playing Final Fight 1 while I'm talking with you guys, so I will occasionally pause when I get really, really, really ecstatically into a particular point I'm trying to make.
All right. And I am expecting the game idea guy to show up. If not, someone else may jump in here. And I'm going to try to keep this one a little short. Probably, hour and a half. I know it can get off the rails. But go ahead, Mr. Red Fox. You can start us off. And please, for anyone viewing, please submit your questions. I definitely am going to go on my way to answer as many as possible, but realistic questions, not any bullshit questions. Well, go ahead, Mr.
Okay.
Red Fox.
Okay. Here's a prediction that I have for whatever Nintendo's next console is called, or is gonna the games that are gonna be on it. You'll be able to get Nintendo first-party IPs and second-party IPs. As far as expecting there to be GTA whatever and Bioshock whatever, strong third-party support. You might as well dream for a bag of money to fall out the sky and land in your front yard. That's my prediction for Nintendo's next home console. There you go.
Damn. Okay. Sprite.
well, apparently it must be true that it's gonna end world hunger and cure all sorts of diseases. So that's
Hey,
what
look,
I'm
I
hoping
said
it is. If not, I'm not
realistically,
buying
man.
it.
I said
no.
realistic.
all right, all right. Well, people seem saying, "Oh, it's going to be a new console, new console." I mean, who's there to say it won't be a new handheld? Because you said yourself, like you guys said yourself, that usually what usually Nintendo uses the hardware of the previous home console and implement it to the new handheld. So it could be a new handheld, or it could just be a whole different new concept. While the Wii U and 3DS still tend to be their own thing until their replacement comes up. So I'm thinking it's just another third platform that Nintendo's trying to do because they've always experimented with a third platform. We've seen this before.
All right. Seems feasible. And what about you, Shep?
Okay, let me put down my new Final Fantasy game. My viewpoint on this is essentially very similar to Sprite. Basically, if you look at it, Nintendo's been trying to expand, especially in light of the investment, the investment meeting that we just. I'm sure you saw it come out today. Actually, you shared it, Doc, from was it Nintendo Life? I don't remember.
Yeah.
But they brought up a few interesting things, and the shareholder, that's very good, the shareholders meeting, that they're still working on quality of life, and they're still just expanding their name. You know, they're doing these theme parks and looking at movies and shows to put out, as well as products like the shoes and clothes merchandise, etc. I would not be surprised, based on the way they've been discussing things, it's going to be an entirely new platform. Granted, it does reek of new handheld or a handheld hybrid. It could be anything. It could literally be, I doubt it, but it could be their own version of the Steam Box. It could be a modified PC. I mean, the original Nintendo was called Family Computer, but I
Yeah,
doubt
but that
that.
was a
That's just
joke.
that. Well, yeah, I'm being facetious to some degree, but yeah. Um, honestly, I could go in any direction. It's
Mm.
clearly a hardware. It's clearly a new platform of some sort. That much they've confirmed. However, they have not given us enough information to tell me what's going by. Obviously, it's at least powerful enough to handle Breath of the Wild. So whatever this is, it has formidable power. Because people tend to misread the Wii U. Wii U is not a powerhouse, but it's very effective. Like, go back to the old conversation of tuner versus muscle car. And actually, you can look this up. I actually had this conversation with Liger the other day. There's a guy who did the world record from. He took a stock Mustang and got it to go over 200 plus miles an hour with all the original parts. All he did was finely tune and adjust everything.
Well, that's
No one
nothing.
would.
You could look up online right now a guy that took a smart car and outran a damn. I think it was a Camaro, one of the newer Camaros. He
Yeah.
took a
So
smart
I
car
mean,
and tuned it up, and that smart car was basically on a wheelie half the track.
yeah.
That's
So
cool.
people are so stuck on raw horsepower, and they're not actually looking at what they have and how to utilize it. One thing that Nintendo has taught me more this generation, because I've kind of just ignored them and just went about my business, not really paying attention. But thanks to the whole hypocrite comments, I decided to research this generation and follow Nintendo relatively close. Is that optimization is very important, and people tend to sleep on that. A lot of these other companies are just giving you raw horsepower and crossing their fingers. But we shall see. A lot of people are predicting this will be the GameCube. But wasn't the Wii U the GameCube? Hmm.
Well, if you mean a console that has a
Yeah.
lot of really good games, and then after the fact, people are like, man, that was some really good games. Why don't you buy it when it was out? uh, uh.
Yeah, exactly. Well, to
No,
some extent, yeah, that's
no.
what I was hinting at.
Well, let me ask you
Wii
guys
U
this
is more
question.
powerful than it looks.
Let me ask you guys this question, and this is pretty much the first portion, the first question. Um, what? How do you feel, or what do you think it's going to lead to with the cartridge rumor? Like, what do you think it means overall? First, give me your opinion at whether or not if you think it's true or more than likely, and if you do, why that is, and what do you think it's going to lead to, in the end? And you can
Mm,
go first, right?
Okay, basically this whole thing about I was going to use cartridges. Well, I'm probably not necessarily cartridge, but more like kind of how the 3DS does with like the SD like cards that for the games. Cause basically at this point in time, we've basically the whole disc deep from CDs to DVDs and now Blu-ray. Blu-ray is still expensive, so the alternative has pretty much been SD like cards, kind of like like whatever the 3DS uses. I don't know what they're called. I forgot what they're called. I think they're called game cards or something.
yeah, but those
And
are
Yeah.
cartridges.
okay, yeah, basically how I see it is, we all know Nintendo likes optimization. So but pretty much when it comes to their games, then they load up in no time. Even when we got to disc, when we got to GameCube, they load up in no time. So that's always been Nintendo. Cut down the load times and be efficient as possible. So when I saw this whole rumor about the game, about the cartridges, is basically I think it's them turning it over from the 3DS into the home console. If the NX is a home console, and basically the games will run off just a little small SD card. Make it's and more than likely is way much cheaper to develop for compared to the manufacturing cost of Blu-ray or similar to that of Blu-rays, and we all know how Nintendo is towards piracy, so that can be like a stronger sense of anti-piracy. And think of it this way, we all you said it before, Doc. Nintendo's created their own ecosystem. So basically, if the whole cartridge thing is true, it's basically their ecosystem. So, hey, if you want to put our games on our system, you better pay up. Use our format.
Or else.
Dun dun dun.
Next. What about you, Red Fox?
Yeah. Personally, I mean, this is kind of like a 50-50 rumor in my opinion. It could happen, it could not happen. If it happens, it'll be awesome. But you're still, but if you get cartridges, you're going to get people who know nothing about hardware saying, "Oh my God, third parties."
Nintendo's going back in time.
No, third parties can't put games on the system because they're using cartridges. Not realizing that disk-based storage mediums, as they are right now, have reached a plateau that's going to be really hard to go beyond, because the technology exists to make a disk that can hold 200 gigabytes of data, but
That's just expensive.
yeah, you'd have to pay around $50 per disc. So if you got how you can go and get like a stack of CDs or DVDs or HD DVDs for like $20, $30, well, for that thing, you'd be spending like $300 for like 5 of them. We're throwing the 6th one for free. So, I mean, cartridge technology now is actually far cheaper and more accessible. We all know Nintendo likes to go with economical builds of whatever. For their consumers. For other people, fuck them. But for their consumers, they try to go for economical. So this could happen, and if it does, it'll be awesome. You'll get faster loading times, more stable data. But you're also going to get a whole bunch of nitwits who know nothing about technology saying that this will make it difficult for people to patch the games or to do whatever. Because the way games are made now, and everyone having the ability to patch them, you would still have to have a hard drive or some type of
Yeah, because the disc are read only, not write.
yeah, you'd have to have some type of hard drive space, some type of active memory to interact with the cartridge in order to change memory. Because I mean, we had it back in the day with the battery, the battery inside of your cartridges back in the day on your SNES and your NES and your Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance cartridges. But would they continue that? I don't know. I mean, as a gamer, I'd love it because I can wear my Blow Me T-shirt again. With my NES thing, with the blow me T-shirt, but
I think this time would be more like Lick Me, since the cartridges are a little flat. If you look at the 3DS, you can't really blow into that thing.
Yeah, you can,
So,
man. You can blow into it. I mean, I wouldn't want you, but
well, I do want to add one thing. You're commenting about the patches. What I think Nintendo would do is something what everyone does kind of right now. Like right now, you have a disc, and when they have a patch or update or DLC for the game, the information is put on the hard drive, and it just interacts with the disc. This is more like a key that allows that additional information on the hard drive to be processed in game while it's on. Well, if you look at a cartridge, they may not want to. Let's say they do put the information on the cartridge. They can still make it to where, instead of using batteries, because that will be more expensive, they may make it to where there's like a small, unique maybe a unique ID save file on your console's hard drive, the really small, that's made to interact with that game cart, and it allows you to access that patch that's actually on the game cart. So I can see that happening.
I mean, at this point, the sky's the limit. I would personally like to see cartridge technology come back because, I mean, it's far more stable than what we've been seeing on discs. And if you take care of excuse me?
I said less parts too.
Yeah, less moving. Well, I mean, a disc has just one part, but then you have to think about the laser that reads the disc, and then the things spinning, and if that engine goes out, if that device goes out that spins the disc, you're SOL. If the laser goes out, you're SOL. Cartridge technology has always been more stable and more, capable.
Okay. Well, I can definitely agree with you there. And what about you, Shep?
Essentially, I'm gonna have to somewhat parrot everybody else, and I hate to do that, but it is what it is. I think it's viable, but unlikely that they're gonna use it on the NX. I think they will use it. Nintendo doesn't mess around. When they patent something, they're gonna use it. Where and how they're gonna use it is a different story. I personally think, based on the knowledge that we've all shared and learned over time, the cartridge at this point is currently far superior to, at least financially, amongst other things, than using disc. So it wouldn't be a surprise if they go back to
superior.
Yeah, because it's the loading time, everything is just it didn't have the capacity for a while.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Which is why people went to the CD. Exactly. So it's like so it's like.
But now capacity's as cheap as a McDonald's fries, man.
Yeah. I have a 128 gigabyte card in my that's less than like, was it like 4 millimeters long or something?
Yeah.
And it has 120 gigabytes.
To quote Reggie, memory is cheap.
It is.
Memory is cheap. And, I mean, at the end of the day, whether it be a disc or a cartridge, it's cheap. I mean, it's very, very... Now it's cheap.
And it would be smart of them to...
And before you guys go on, let me go ahead and introduce Double M, my latest attendee for this. Go ahead and give your intro, man.
Yo, what's up, people? I'm actually here in the studio as we're speaking right now, like on my laptop here, like, I kind of just like got me a camera, so I just recorded. I'm learning to make beats now, so I made a little loop and like just recorded myself spitting over for like 23 minutes, which will be on YouTube soon, people. So don't forget to check that out on my channel. But yeah, it's gaming talk now, so like let's kind of just. Yeah, we'll talk gaming. I may throw in a 1-2 thing later on in the show, but yeah, let's talk gaming now.
Wow, the most long-winded intro ever.
What?
Most long-winded intro ever.
Whatever, man.
Okay, well, my next question is this, guys. What do you think this means in the long run? And what I mean by that is, if they do use cartridges, what would that mean for third parties? What would that mean for, we think it will mean for gaming in general? Do you think others will follow suit? Do you think this will put Nintendo back in the, in the same state as it was, kind of like what they were with the SNES and Yamauchi? But, like, what do you guys think? Like, what would be the effect of if this was surely going to use some type of cart similar to the 3DS? What would be the effect of it on the industry?
I think the Japanese developers will take to it very well because it's cartridges help to prevent piracy, and Japanese are more likely to put in piracy, are more likely to agree with something that protects their content than Americans are. I think the Americans are still going to be stubborn and just stick with the CD. You may get one or two that don't mind putting on the cartridge, but I think the rest of them are just going to be stubborn and think, yeah, it's cheap, it's easy, we know how to code in it already.
Yeah,
How
but
dare you? How dare you? How dare you tell us the truth?
yeah, but coding on a cartridge, putting something on a cartridge and putting something on the CD or a Blu-ray disc. I mean, it's virtually the same thing. You're putting data in on a storage medium. That at the end of the day, that's all you're really doing. The only thing is, and this is where I have to agree with Double M on this, is that I mean, like Sony long term is going to stick with. They're going to stick with this. They're just that's
Aren't they part of the whole Blu-ray?
Just
Blu-ray.
to clarify, granted the Vita is dead. They did go with that technology, kind of, sorta, with the Vita.
yeah, but it was like
So
a
they're not-
cartridge
so
with a
they-
disc in it. That was weird.
Isn't Sony also?
No,
part of the
no. The Vita. You don't own the Vita, do you?
I was thinking the
Like,
PS4.
Vita and-
also a part of the damn consortium that
Okay.
that created
Can
Blu-ray.
we have order in the court, please?
Well, okay,
Okay.
I agree. The Vita used cartridges for a little bit, but let's keep it real. The Vita's dead, so we can kick that in the ditch next to the road.
Okay, let's stop with the joke, because you know damn well that the
This
Vita
isn't a
is.
joke. It is. It's dead.
No, you could. The sales are still going in Japan. They're still creating new games.
No, let's forget
So
about the
let's-
Vita.
yeah,
Everybody
let's-
else has.
let's forget about
The Vita
Let's
is
just-
now. If you say no. Let's be correct. If you're saying the Vita is dying, then I'm completely on board with you. It is dying, but it's not dead yet.
Let me put it this way: when the console manufacturer doesn't support the console or handheld, it's
Stop,
dead.
Red. No,
But
no.
I'm gonna pick that dead
Hey.
horse.
No, but let's be real, dude. I go to the store. Quick question. No, but look. For the record, like I know what you're saying is the truth, but you're incorrect partially. They're still releasing new games, regardless of if Sony is being a bunch of lazy and such and such.
I didn't say that there weren't games coming to it. I said that first. Look, Sony isn't putting games on it. Third parties are.
Which actually works out pretty well because Sony's first party games have fallen far from what it used to be.
It works out well for third party. It don't work out well for Sony.
Well, back to the NX.
But back to what I was saying. In terms of cartridges coming back, they could. I hope they do. In terms of it affecting the entire industry, not really. I mean, third parties are gonna by and large, third parties are gonna go with the status quo. The status quo is discs. The Xbox Scorpio is gonna use discs, and the PS Neo is gonna use discs. The current gen systems use discs, so that's what they're gonna go with.
Okay. Anybody else? All right. Well, my next question is, recently Miyamoto made a statement, and I did look it up because I know other people were misinterpreting it, but he said that basically the reason why they haven't talked about it and refused to show it off at E3, as they once stated, is that they have a secret idea. And as I've said in many, many podcasts, online and offline, they don't want anyone to try to emulate it or imitate it before they release their system. And this was actually said. They basically want to just keep copycats, out of the loop. And we know that every console manufacturer has tried to copy their shit after they shun it in the first place. We've seen this with the Wii remote, the Wii U gamepad, etc. So it's happened. I know this is going to be a long drawn out answer, not on mine, but what do you guys think, realistically, what could this ideal or concept be? And we all know it's not VR, so let's just go ahead and put that as not VR.
It's not VR, and it's not augmented reality, although I did think of that briefly.
So then what do you think, realistically?
Realistically speaking, the thing is, they've stated clearly that the quality of life is something completely different. Mm-hmm. So I don't think it's quality of life related. Mm-hmm. I don't think they're gonna completely get rid of the whole gamepad concept with the built-in gyroscope and all that other stuff. So, hmm, that's a tough call. Because the only thing I could really think of at this moment would they said a new concept. They didn't say augments what they already have. So it's not motion control technology. It's something beyond that. So I keep going back to augmented reality. I can't
Well,
really think of anything outside of that at this particular time. What do you
well,
guys
what
think?
well, what I think actually, and this is just one of my possibilities, I think they're going to take the gamepad and basically we're going to have a dual screen gamepad, and it's some way in the vein of the 3DS, but on a much more advanced, scale or way. Like for example, the gamepad is advanced as shit. NASA said this. This thing has technology that shouldn't even belong in a consumer's hands. Basically, the type of sensors that it has in it, and all it could do. Now, the gamepad's only weakness, I'm pretty sure we
Obviously,
can all
Nintendo does
agree, is the
do that.
fact that it has to work with the console, within a certain range. So it's like you can take your game with you, but not outside of 30 feet, basically. Now,
True.
what if,
But we've
imagine,
already discussed that.
yeah, but what if it would take the gamepad, where it interacts both with and without a console? You give it a double screen like a 3DS. So games like Splatoon, for example, this is just an example, can be played, without a television. Right now, you can't play Splatoon on the Wii U without a TV. You need it. But what if you could play that without a television completely? In other words, the Wii U completely realized where the gamepad can be totally separate from the console, but it's also integral to the
So,
console.
so essentially, what you're saying is a gamepad 2.0. We kind of sort of discussed this before, but we didn't go that far in depth. Basically, it's
Exactly.
going to be the PSP Vita done right. It's fine on its own, and it works great with the main whatever it is.
And
The,
here's the other reason I'm
you
thinking
could,
this. I'm thinking this because since Breath of the Wild is going to be a simultaneous release on both the Wii U and the 3DS, I mean not 3DS, on the NX. Now, combine it with the rumor that they're going to cartridges. All right. If they are going to use the cartridge format for the next console, whatever, would it be a handheld or anything else, that means they should be able to make a version for the Wii U, which is going to be on disc. Combine that also with the cross-play or cross-buy, whatever however you want to pronounce it, and from there, if there's a cartridge version for the NX, whatever you done on the Wii U could transfer over to that cartridge version, which is going to be on the NX, whatever the hell it's going to be called, and save progress, whatever, can be migrated between the two. So a seamless experience between a handheld and a console, and a gamepad 2.0 is the center of it all. So basically, you have a console that is both that can be bound at home or completely portable, just with the cartridge. So you can call it 3DS 2.0 or 4DS, or you can call it gamepad 2.0. But I think with the rumor we heard about it being a hybrid, the rumor with it being a completely new concept or whatever, what Miyamoto actually said, that's not a rumor. The cartridge things, you combine all those things together, I can actually see that happening where you are playing on the Wii U, you got a cartridge for the NX version, whatever. You can basically whatever you're doing between both. Once you sync them, the information, yeah, I mean, you basically just pick up where you left off.
hmm.
And I think that would be a very brilliant concept because one, it's never been done before. Sony has tried to do the whole remote play with the Vita and things like that, but that's depending on internet connections. And if your connection is shitty, and we know public connections most of the time are shitty, that's not good.
And
And
that's
plus,
why
when you
they're
talk
gonna
about
build.
the
Oh, go ahead.
but also when it comes to the button layout on a Vita versus a PS4, PS4 has basically 10 buttons. You got the four shoulder, you got the four face buttons, you even got the L3 and R3. So that's roughly about 10 buttons. The Vita only has what, 6, 8 max. So some functions, depending on the game you're playing, will be unavailable. So to
So
me, you would have to have, if they did that, like you say, it would be, in my opinion, the gamepad fully realized, or it would be the remote play done the right way.
I think what they're basically gonna do is have within the thing itself. Ah, crap. See, I wish Shadow was here because I can't explain it. But maybe Double M could. Oh yeah.
Explain what?
I wouldn't call it a SD-RAM, but like they'll have it because the whole thing is right now the current gamepad all it does is just receive information and send information and that's
Yeah.
it. They're gonna
It
this
doesn't have
this
any
gamepad
computing
is
power.
essentially gonna have its own OS, so it could save, store, and transfer data. So it'll be much easier
It's basically
to.
gonna be. It's basically gonna be smart glass Nintendo style.
Yeah, in other words, smart glass done right.
I was gonna say done well, but you hit it. You hit the nail on the head too.
And I know what some people may be thinking that, oh, well, they're just copying. It's like, not exactly. Because even when they made the announcement for Smash Bros. 4, how you can use a 3DS as a damn separate controller for the game, to me, that was already a small hint.
Man, you're thinking too late in the game, man. Game Boy cable, fam.
Exactly.
GameCube.
So, I mean, don't get me wrong. In this concept I'm speaking of, if that indeed is what it's going to be, that would make me more than happy. Because to me, a completely portable console, that's great. That means you don't need a television at all. That you can start playing at home, pop in your cartridge or whatever, and keep on playing.
That's my
Or
boy.
even they choose to still release two versions of the game.
I want to take it even a little step further. You see how they said using cartridge in this day and age. What is one thing you can do with cartridge today? You can break it down. So what if the cartridge that you get for the main system? What if what you have is basically a dedicated system that has a connection to a hub? So you get a dedicated. It's like a gamepad, but smaller, thinner. Has the buttons and stuff like that, and it's connected to and it connects to a hub. Now, when you put the main cartridge in, you're basically playing on the main hub bit. So your thing's essentially a controller, that bit's the other bit's essentially a console and stuff like that. But then when you disconnect it from the hub, then you take the game and then you break off the piece of the cartridge. You take off the breakable bit of the cartridge, and that becomes the game for the handheld part.
Yep. So it'll run like around 900p on the portable controller, but then it'll run
Remember,
like a
cartridges
superior
can
1080p. Go ahead.
Because remember, cartridges can break. You can break down cartridges now, so you can literally have a piece of data on a smaller part, and then connect it to a larger part, and then that will become the rest of the data.
Hmm. See, I'm glad you're here because you could elaborate on things I want to convey, but I can't quite say it.
And
That
Triple M made a comment on when you guys said there. He said, "Smart glass done smart." That would be a better statement.
um,
Good
So
one.
what you saying Microsoft had was dumb glass? Is that what you're saying, man?
well, they never even really used the smart glass thing. They were like, oh, people don't want that shit. We were gonna steal that from Nintendo too, but they don't want it, so fuck it. So I mean, at this point, that sounds really neat. What you said earlier, Dr. Feelgood, about like saving your save data from your 8th gen console to your 9th gen console from their 8th gen console to the 9th gen console. That sounds cool too. Yeah, whatever. It's all
Sorry to
neat.
interrupt, guys. I just want to say something real quick. I'm about to disappear for about 10 minutes. I gotta put the little one down, so
All right,
I'm gonna be
man.
mute for a little bit. All right, guys. I'll
Good
be
luck,
right
man.
back.
Good
Okay.
luck.
Alright, see you in a bit, bro.
But
And
Yep.
this the thing that gets to me, and like I keep thinking about, is that if you look at the current gamepad, give it computing power and a cartridge slot, to me that makes sense. And the reason why it makes sense to me is because if you look at Nintendo's history, just even the last couple of generations, when you look at their release
Mhm.
schedule of their consoles, both portable and home. Look at it. The handhelds are typically released in the spring. The consoles are released fall/winter. So when
Hmm.
they said
Mhm.
that we're dropping the NX, you know, and Zelda's gonna launch on the NX, in March of 2017, it's like March. That's when the 3DS launched. That's when the DS launched. I mean, yeah,
You
even
know
in the
what I will
3DS
laugh?
XL. I mean,
You know what I'll laugh at? I'll laugh at this. If the part of the NX they're releasing, if they're releasing the NX in parts and the part they're releasing is just the handheld part, and when the new said it's going to have different visuals for Zelda, meaning that the visuals weren't going to be as good as the Wii U version.
it makes sense to me because, and I think I forget. I think Red Fox mentioned
So
this. I'm
basically,
not sure.
you get it on the handheld, but the visuals aren't still aren't as good as the Wii U. Because at that they're going to have a handheld part that's going to be as strong as a Wii U is.
Exactly, and like I said, I forget who mentioned this, but if you look at their release history, like basically the 3DS is a portable version of what home console?
GameCube.
GameCube,
A GameCube, and the DS was a portable version of what home console?
the N64,
All right, and the Game Boy Advance and SP were a portable version of what home console?
SNES,
SNES.
And the Game Boy.
and NES.
So you don't think, since the Wii U is the first console of its kind to be damn basically the portable console itself, you don't think they would? You don't think after 4 years they will find a way to make the Wii U even smaller than what it is? Give the gamepad some computing power. You have a 16 screen on it. It may be a little bit smaller. I'm not sure. But with screens being so much cheaper now than they were back then, you don't think that they would take the Wii U and make that into a handheld, or at least make a handheld that comes close to the Wii U's power output and capabilities,
Here's
and you
I'll
can
take
take the
it.
bitch on the go?
I'll take it even a step further. The hub station is clear, like if it's going to be a two-part thing, then the main hub, which is essentially going to be the console, that's going to obviously going to be significant a good deal more powerful than the Wii U. Now, to be honest, I think it's going to be the Wii U perfected. So all the bits that they couldn't add the extra performance to, they're going to add it to that and make a better design. It's going to be like what it's going to kind of be like what the what the Wii was to the GameCube, but on a greater scale. That's what I think anyway. But also as well, if you have handheld type power that is quite similar to that of the Wii U's in the controller, then it's a case of if the two of them are connected, if the two of them are able to connect together like that, then that means both of them will be able to share resources. So you will be able to probably part of the game's processing will probably be done on the controller itself, which means the rest of it will be done on the whole console bit. So that would mean that you'd have a system that is extremely high performance. You'd have a system that's basically extremely high performance, but it wouldn't require so much resources.
And with this date, I really do believe it's going to be a handheld portion, more or less. I know Nintendo likes to shake things up, don't get me wrong, and it wouldn't surprise me if it was a full-blown home console that they release, at springtime after the holidays instead of during the holidays to compete with others. They want to avoid that. It definitely makes business sense for them to avoid that. Some people say it's stupid because holidays is the hottest selling point, but around the holidays they also be competing with not only other high-profile titles releasing on other consoles, but they be competing with the Xbox One Slim and whatever Sony has up their sleeve that they may plan to release or not. So, but shying away from that, they can get away from all that hype, all that noise, and during the launch period where they're by themselves. So you're launching 4 or 5 months after the holiday season, and 6 to 7 months before the next one. You got a nice big lead. But
Yeah,
What I'm saying,
I'm not against it being a console. Believe me, that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying that I firmly believe it's the handheld portion of basically the next generation handheld, and the console is going to come later, and they may be able to connect in some way, either through a hub or whatever. But that's what I believe. It's a handheld, and it's going to be cartridge based. like the 3DS, and it's going to be able to handle Breath of the Wild. And like you said, Double M, either on the Wii U level or slightly beneath it.
Um, the whole this launching in March 2017. I want to add this into that. I figured since between March and December they have like 8 months, 8 9 months. Between that time frame, there can be like more games. There's definitely gonna be like more games to come out. So by the time the holiday season come out, potential customers have much more options in terms of games.
Well, that's what Kimishima said. He said the reason that they pushed back talking about it from E3 was, I mean, part of it was they don't want Sony and Microsoft stealing their shit because that's all those fuckers ever do. That's all they ever do. They don't come up with original ideas. They steal Nintendo's and then claim it's better, and the fans are like, "Yeah, it's brilliant" when they do it. It was not only that; it was also to get certain other things right. So, like to get, they said time for the developers who are working on it to get their games ready. Personally, at this point, those are probably Japanese developers who decide to throw their lot into it. So you're probably looking at maybe Square Enix, Japan, Atlas, Sega, maybe Bandai Namco.
I just want to know when the big event's going to be. So I can actually see what this thing finally is.
I mean, well, they say it's going to be...
I can tell you what day it's going to be.
Oh, hell yeah. Go ahead, man. You finally arrived, you slow bastard.
Look, I set my phone to alarm me, and for some reason it skipped this alarm.
Yeah, I hate when that happens.
But the bad thing is when I don't alarm it and somebody just invites me, it alarms me. So I'm like, okay, you want to be finicky now. But I bet you, I can tell you what day it's going to be. It's going to be December 20th, 2016.
Because that's technically fall.
Because that would be the biggest troll move ever.
Hold on. What would be the biggest troll move? I missed something. What would be the biggest troll move?
December.
They talk about it?
If they look, the reveal of the NX being December 20th.
Because still technically fall.
By calendar date, it's still fall.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm sorry. If they did that, that would F up the entire industry in one way or another.
That's
Dude,
some troll ass shit right there.
I would be the one person that be laughing my ass off because I guessed it correctly.
I say this: if you come within 1 week, dude, I'm going to invest in your ability to make accurate predictions.
Well, to be technical, should have been investing in that a long time ago. Remember I had videos about Nintendo should have went with indie, start with dealing with indies as their third party. Guess what they did?
Yeah, true.
Focus more on shit. Guess what they did?
Well, since you're here now,
Yeah, I'm not.
On the cartridge aspect of it, real quick. What do you think it means? Do you think this is actually going to happen, and why do you think that?
Well, I can't say I think it's going to happen. I hope it's going to happen because no installs, quicker game loads. It'll load up just like if you put in the game cartridge in the 3DS.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, honestly, SD flash type storage. You can have a much bigger amount of storage for a smaller piece of equipment, smaller cases, a lot more space for your shit. No disk drive to spin, meaning less power used, making it cheaper. I mean, there's a lot of pluses.
More durable.
Damn sure it's more durable. I've seen discs get dropped on a carpet and get scratched and not be playable. A cartridge, no matter how small it is.
From the day a disc even goes into a drive, it's already dying because the laser actually has to burn into the actual disc itself. That's why sometimes when a disc is used if you get a cheap disc and it's used so many times, it starts bugging out.
Yep.
Not even a cheap disc. I mean, I've had to rebuy versions of games for my Dreamcast and my GameCube because I played it so much that the disc was so scratched.
I don't know. Them GameCube discs can hack some serious scratches from my Smash Brothers discs.
I don't know what you've been through, Red, but my GameCube discs have taken some serious beatings and worked just fine.
Yeah, my Mario Kart Double Dash is like that. It's scratched to all crap. It still works.
No, but he didn't scratched the disc. He burnt
Okay,
the disc.
to all the viewers out there, I want you to know that I in no way condone the video game violence they are committing right now.
Let me
I know.
You don't commit this, man. It's
But no,
it's wear and tear, man. Wear and tear.
no. I'm trolling because this kind of video game violence is okay because at least you're abusing games in terms of you playing them too fucking much.
Yeah, let me put
I
it
was
this
about
way.
to say, I mean, you can't say. Good.
And honestly, that's kind of a given for any real RPG fan, because we tend to put anywhere from 100 to 200 plus hours on most games.
Well, you know what?
Anything less than 100 hours is a waste of time.
I would say this. I thank God for that Wii U China Blue High Def because that thing, you could down and run a razor blade on it and it doesn't scratch.
Let me put it this way.
That thing is like that thing is like got an impenetrable force field, like.
Let me put it
Well, I
this way.
mean, they won't admit it, but we know it's made out of Nintendo.
Let me put it this way. I've basically killed. Let's see. I had to basically rebuy Skies of Arcadia for my Dreamcast and my GameCube because I played that game so much the disc was scratched to hell. I had to rebuy Paper Mario because the disc was scratched to hell. I had to rebuy. What else did I have to rebuy? No, just those two games.
Let's be real. You played the game, you got mad, you got drunk, you played the game, you smashed the disc, and then replaced it and acted like, no, I didn't do that.
Nope. I didn't do that. Literally, I played that game so much that the disc was scratched to hell, and it wouldn't read it. The game would start to say, "Oh, disc 2 scratched."
I'm not even gonna lie, my Smash Brothers game, there were times where it's just like I had to keep taking it out, wiping it, blowing the drive and everything like that just to get it to run.
One doesn't blow on a disc-based game. Just saying.
He said blow dry. He said blow dry.
Hold up, Sprite. Let's tell that to those of us who had the magic breath that got the disc to work.
Are you
Exactly.
Are you trying to be all snobbish like
because,
someone
dude,
one does not
no.
eat this with this? Thank you very much.
Because I have had, on some occasions, breathed on the disc, and it caused a light case of fog and moisture. Then take a cloth, wipe it, and the disc works fine.
He knows the thing.
So, just to clarify, that is feasible. It's not perfect, but it works.
I mean, it's not
the cleanliest thing to do, but what can you do on short notice? You want to play a game.
Exactly, it works in a pinch.
You're not hunting around the house for some cleaner or anything like that.
Okay,
You just
okay.
you breathe on it, you take a piece of your t-shirt, and then you just clean off the disc.
I mean, maybe it's just a little bit of film on there that you just had to huff off. That's all.
Well,
Exactly.
since we're on this off rails ass topic right now, Triple M made a comment.
Are you surprised?
To all the Nintendo 3DS players, have you ever blown into your 3DS carts? No, I have not.
Actually, have
No.
Oh no. I've done it for SNES, Genesis 64. That's the only thing, and I did it like twice for Game Boy.
We said you tard. Pay attention to the words.
Not for my 3DS. For my DS, I have. For my DS,
No,
not for my
I've
3DS.
never-
I had done it for my.
With-
I've done it for my DS.
I haven't had to do that with any console or with any handheld or console after the 6th gen.
I've had to do that. I've had to do that with the Game Boy as well.
Nope,
And,
didn't do it for my Game Boy.
Nah, I had to do it for the
my
N64.
Pokemon Blue. My
But it
Pokemon
didn't really
Blue
work.
Got screwed up, so I
Yeah,
kept blowing on it.
And
back in the day.
here's another
You're
question.
just trying to get out a bit of dust. That's all. And not all of us knew about isopropyl alcohol back then.
Hey guys, there's another question.
Which is great, actually.
This one's from Nova Region. He says, here's a 4-out theory for Nintendo's NX. Nintendo's creating a gaming virtual assistant similar to Apple's Siri and Windows 10 Cortana, but it will cater to gamers' needs. Just a wild thought. What do you guys think?
I would be a little worried if Nintendo's doing that, because then I'm like, okay, Skynet's coming.
Okay, but
Yeah.
It is.
my question
Because let's
is,
be real, Nintendo don't halfway. If they did it, they're gonna go all the way in with that.
Like, you know what you're gonna see coming.
Here's our request from that. If this was to take place, I hope that you choose a voice, because I'm pretty sure some of you here are going to choose Samus. That's a damn shame. Who's going to choose Rosalina? And I'm going to tell you right now, I may choose Luigi just for the hell of it, just to have something different.
Just to mess
No,
with people?
I would actually go with Wario just because he's so messed up. It's wonderful.
Nah, you know it's gonna be. It's gonna.
Let's get wild, Luigi, bro.
Wow.
Now you know what though? Who
You
who
know it's gonna be. You know what it's gonna be. It's gonna be like the NS5 robots, but instead they're gonna be modeled after highly asseted anime schoolgirls.
who's gonna choose Bayonetta?
No, no, because I can't do that. Because if it was Bayonetta's voice, I would get in trouble, and I'll leave that alone.
And the whole time she'd just be berating people?
I would be asking any and all questions on a regular
you
basis
imagine
just
that,
to
though?
hear.
Hold on,
See,
Andre, what'd you say?
What is that?
What'd you say, Andre?
No, I was gonna say you can see what Sarasa would say to you.
Yeah, all she'd do is just berate you the entire time.
She'd be like, "How do you call yourself a gamer? You can't complete this game."
He's like, clearly you're not paying attention, love.
Dude, Andre,
Pick up the controller and press the buttons.
if it was insulting you while you play, that would be doubly frustrating, dude.
I would know, but you know what? With it being her voice, I'd shrug it off and be like, "Okay, this is just her."
That would be her. She'd just be sitting there. Is that the best you can do?
See, the problem is that once I hear that voice, I put the image in my head, and I don't need that image in my head when I'm playing a game, unless it's her game.
Nah, you know what?
She'd be like, is that the best you've got? You're disappointed.
But what they incorporate like their personalities when you choose their voice, and she's like,
you know what would be good?
Like, what are you doing? Go ahead, push my buttons.
Nah, you know what would be good? You know what would be a good one? You know what would be a good one? Zelda. I'll tell you why. You know, she'll tell you to push the Master Sword between the pedestal.
No, ironically, Zelda would probably do mind games. Zelda's a smartass. People are sleeping on that.
Surprised you guys ain't said Midna yet.
Okay, well, here's the next question from Brownie.
The adult one, the grown one.
Brownie's question is: if the NX is supposedly hybrid, supposedly going to be a hybrid console, one, how comfortable will its controller be?
Oh wow.
Two, which battery should be perfect for its portable controller / handheld? Three, how would you play your digital games? And four, will it have Wi-Fi service at the Vita? I'll go first. Four, they're not going to do the Wi-Fi thing in my opinion because it's too unreliable. It really is. To go through multiple Wi-Fi services and ISPs just to play your game like the Vita, you see how this shit did not work out well for the Vita and the PS4's remote play. The digital game,
which is why I tried to state earlier, if anybody was paying attention, that it would have its own internal, it'll have like a built-in temporary memory, which it will save like a SD-RAM system kind of.
But what I think they'll do though when it comes to digital games, if you want to take them on the go, kind of what you said, Shep, but on a more practical level, I can see them selling as an accessory like a blank cart that's linked only to your system, kind of like how the Wii U does the ID now. That when you have a digital game, you want to take them to go. That basically
aren't even bet right there. All their games will just be cross. All their games will just be crossed by now.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably.
So what it will do is it will allow you to only upload 2 to 3 games at a time that are, you know what I'm saying? So like you can only take these 3 games without the cartridge, and then if you want to put more, then you have to take the cartridge and plug it in.
That's what I'm thinking. But I thought about the blank cartridge. That thinking if a game is too big, to fit on that cart, possibly, which this can happen. I mean, look at Xenoblade Chronicles. I mean, I know they didn't have enough time to truly optimize it, but it's still a huge ass game. But if they had a blank cartridge that is tied to the ID, the system internally, you put your digital game on there, take it on the go. That would still be a way they can secure things, and it gives you a way to buy yourself a blank cartridge that can hold whether it be 1 game, 2 games, it can be in a multitude of sizes. So that's the way I would see it. I can see them selling it as an accessory, but as I said, I could be wrong. That is a good question. For the battery, I can see using that extended life battery they offer for the Wii U gamepad. Mm-hmm. I can definitely see that because that's the 8 to 10 hour battery, I believe. No, sorry, 5 to 8 hour.
That would be really expensive, though. That would add to the
And,
price of this
and,
console.
and when
Not
it comes
necessarily.
when it comes to the
Depends on the efficient. Depends on how efficient the battery is in this day and age. Now.
Yep. And once
True.
again, Nintendo is big on optimizing, so I don't think they would be so wasteful of the power.
And when it comes to the controller comfort, I don't care what anyone says out there. I know everyone is different, their hands are different, but the Wii U gamepad is actually the lightest controller I play with. Even when compared to the Xbox One controller, the basic, even I mean, it's basically as light as the PS4 controller. It really is. It looks
That's the
big as
funny.
shit, but it feels hollow as
And
hell.
okay, now stop. Here,
No, the lightest
I will
is
help you. I will help you because I actually have a PS4 controller and the gamepad, and the difference in weight is almost non-existent. Non-existent. It's not like these people who are making all these assumptions don't know any better. Like I had to correct one of my nephews because he was like, "This controller is so heavy and clunky and blah blah blah." I'm like, he used it at a display. I gave him the gamepad at my home, and he's like, "Oh my God, it's so light." I'm like, "Yeah, you're thinking about that crap, that all the extra attachments and all the stuff that people talk about. Having something yourself and hearing people talk about it are two different things. Because at a glance, the gamepad does look big and unwieldy. But when you have it in your hand, it's comfortable. Shut up. It's comfortable. It's light.
Yeah, but I mean, all of Nintendo's controllers, starting from the 5th gen, looked weird. The N64 controller looked weird until you got it in your hands and you
And
played the
it
game.
was so
And
comfortable.
it was like, because really, I mean, I can't play Mario 64 without an N64 controller. It feels weird playing it on something else.
I personally don't like the N64 controller. It's my least favorite controller from Nintendo.
Shut,
But
get the
I
fuck out.
cannot shut up and let me finish.
You've gone
tard.
too far.
It is my least favorite Nintendo controller. That is the truth. Whether you like that or not, that's your problem.
I
That's
don't,
your.
I don't
But-
like it. I don't like it. I don't like you right now.
Look, you can look.
Okay,
Listen,
but then
that's how
tough
you-
cookies.
that's how
Let me
you feel.
finish my statement. Man up, and keep going. As I was saying, it's my least favorite. However, it's damn effective. I loved playing Turok on it. I loved playing GoldenEye. I loved playing Mario 64. I loved playing Ocarina of Time.
Okay, you redeemed yourself somewhat. I'll let you live.
But I will say that I don't know, maybe it's because I was younger. Maybe if I play now and I'll play differently. I destroyed that analog stick so quickly.
Yeah,
That
Yeah,
poor
them
analog stick
analog
was
sticks
beating
were-
the hell up.
Them analog sticks weren't really. Yeah, they.
I wrecked that stick on a regular basis. Thank God my brother worked at Toys R Us at the time.
But I can. But honestly, I mean, those are
I
both
have
good
to- I have to
questions.
agree-
Anybody
I
have
have
any
to-
comments on them?
In a sense, I have to kind of agree with Shep though. I mean, I do like the N64 controller. Don't get me wrong, but out of all of them, it is my least favorite.
Here's the thing. The N64 controller isn't my favorite, but what I'm saying is that there were so many games that were built
The
around that
games are
controller.
really built around it. That's
So
the great
in
thing
order to
about
play
it.
those games, I
It
can't
worked
play
perfectly.
unless I have an N64 controller.
And I agree with you. It doesn't feel the same unless you use the controller. Which is
I
why
remember-
I didn't buy too many
Star Fox
N64
with the
games.
Star Fox with the N64 controller is still the best experience. I've had
Well,
so
I mean, I'll give you an example. Like, okay, Diddy Kong Racing, Star Fox 64, Mario 64, Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask. Those games without the N64 controller just feel off. Like,
Retargeting.
it just,
Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie.
yeah,
Right.
Conker's Bad Fur Day. I mean, there's so many games were built around that controller that it just doesn't feel right without playing a game without that controller. With that being said, though, I have to say my favorite Nintendo
Can you
controller is still the
Can you
GameCube.
imagine what a Metroid game would have been like on the N64 with lock on?
Yeah, they had that. It's on the Wii.
Yeah, I agree too. GameCube's my favorite Nintendo controller.
Yeah, I agree. I love the GameCube controller.
Oh yeah,
Like,
the GameCube
still-
controller. I love that controller. I
It
won't
still,
lie.
it still has the best. I think it still has the best analog stick too. That's just my opinion.
But the most comfortable controller Nintendo's made, I still got to put it down to that damn Wiimote nunchuck. Sorry. It's
Yeah,
just-
most comfortable, yes.
Most
But-
comfortable. It feels a bit awkward with some games, but it is super comfortable. No arguments there.
My fast son get tired of holding it up all the time.
Metroid Prime 3 with a Wii and with a Wii remote and nunchuck.
Oh yeah.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, I can't, like, literally after playing the Metroid Prime trilogy with the Wiimote, and then I tried to go back to the GameCube version, I'm like, this is trash. I can't play this on the GameCube. I can't do it. I can't do it. I need motion controls. I can't do it.
It's like Twilight Prince. It's like Twilight Princess for me as well. I can't imagine not playing it with the gamepad and with I cannot imagine playing without the Wii remote and nunchuck. Like having that thing to aim with the bow, having that Wii remote to aim with the bow and arrow is freaking amazing.
The best controls for that game is still the Wii version, and I'm sticking to that statement. I don't care what anyone
You cannot beat the precision aiming with the bow and arrow.
Not even that.
The
The fishing with the Wiimote is so.
Oh my days! Don't even get me started on the fishing. The fishing.
I don't know why we got into this. We're talking about the NX.
Hey, I can honestly say.
Okay, gentlemen, you two are associates of me. Therefore, you will be prone to go on a tangent, especially if it involves nerd stuff. It's just a given.
Okay, well, let's hop back to it then, or at least try to. Damn you guys!
Get off that tangent.
Which reminds me, I gotta run outside real quick and throw something away.
Go outside, throw something away, huh? Don't litter.
He's throwing away a dead body.
You guys are idiots.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. He is throwing away dead body. It's Call of Vita.
That hurt. Why do you hurt that man like that?
Doc, that's worse than else than Vita. Thank you very much.
His wife probably caught his collection of hentai magazines and he's claiming he's gonna throw them away.
Yeah, Doc, that's worse handhelds.
I've given up my hentai magazines over a decade ago. It's all digital now,
What
baby.
the hell? Okay.
Can we please get back to talking about video games, please?
When it comes to
I think they want some of them Tokyo Mirage sessions.
Shut up.
I'm playing them right now while I'm talking to you guys.
So, why do you guys think that Nintendo decided to release Breath of the Wild on codename NX simultaneously along with the Wii U version?
Makes sense.
And I know it may sound like I know you may be thinking like that's a dumbass question, but I mean I want your opinion.
Oh, because it's supposed to have 4K resolution, so.
I said I'm gonna kick your ass.
Here's the thing. They probably figured that since they were going to do this big show for E3, I doubt that they expected that it was going to get quite the reaction they did, but I'm pretty sure they expected a positive reaction. And they figured, well, let's use that positive.
Hold on. Andre, your mic.
Break it up, dude.
Google is at it again. I'll be right back.
Anybody else?
These idiots are racing around here. It's 4th of July. It was going to be 4th of July weekend. And it's the last day of the month. These cops are so going to arrest these dumbasses.
Good.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I'll go. Basically, they want to use it as a system seller and as a and you know it gives them. I mean, what's better than having one platform to do to sell a blockbuster too? So I mean, you're gonna see. Look, I'm gonna tell you right now, you're gonna see some Wii U sell out in a lot of places in short supply in a lot of places when this game drops whenever it drops, because they might push it back again.
And see, and Nintendo's not stupid. Let's be real. It's gonna piss me off personally because I've had the launch version of the Wii U, but I would not be surprised if there's a special Breath of the Wild Wii U SKU. People will eat that shit up.
I don't
and
think
it'll also be. They'll also. Go ahead.
I don't think they'll do that just because they've kind of moved away from it. But I mean, I wouldn't put it past them. They might do some type of promotion.
I think they'll do a special edition game, like a custom edition of the game.
No, what you guys fail to realize is Nintendo don't like to waste anything, and I'm sure they're gonna incorporate a lot of the stuff from the Wii you into the new NX system and other systems coming out. But they will want to wipe out the rest of their Wii U stock. So they'll probably do some Wind Waker shit where they put on some cool looking sticker stuff on there, slap it on there, have like a digital version and of extra memory crap, sell it at like slightly below regular price, just to get it out and off the racks.
And have a price drop too. We all know that's coming.
Exactly.
I can
You have
see
to keep that in
both
mind.
sides. Well, I can see both sides, but I'm leaning more towards red. And the reason why is because they've already done a Zelda edition of the Wii U with the Wind Waker HD.
Yeah.
And if they were going to do another one, they probably would have done something with Twilight Princess HD, but they didn't. And that game was just as big as Wind Waker HD in terms of popularity, how much fans wanted it. So I mean, even though Breath of the Wild is going to be fresh,
what you have to realize in that regards is that the Twilight Princess was already like there. How do I put it? Each one are gonna have their gimmick. The amiibo for the Twilight Princess was what they did for that.
they wanted
For
to
this
get
one,
that
I would
3DS
need.
XL. And she has
Yeah.
the first
So
one that had the black and gold design. Then they released one for Ocarina of Time for the new 3DS XL. They had a different design for Zelda on it, but they haven't done no more than that per iteration. And with the Wii U,
that
they
is
did the one
true.
for Wind Waker HD, and they stopped there. I'm not saying it's
And
impossible to do it again. I just don't think they will.
Yeah, I
okay, and
don't.
there's nothing wrong with that.
I just don't see
Wrong
it
with that.
happening. But I mean, I think that I think that they released Zelda, Twilight Princess HD and the Amiibo. When they said that the Amiibo is going to work with the Zelda, the other Zelda game, the future Zelda game that they showed off, that was a big, because there are people who are getting that Amiibo just to work with that game.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I want
I
to get
think
the
that
game
stuff's
now.
really going to work.
I want to get
Was
the game
Twilight Princess really that big of a hit?
It's
I think
actually it's one of the highest selling Zelda games ever released. Of course, it was released, and this is why they're also doing a dual release for this game. It was a dual release. It came on the GameCube and the Wii. So
Exactly.
that's why
Just wanted to
they're
clarify
doing a
that.
dual
I
release.
think it was also their most pre-ordered game.
What?
I
Twilight
know it
Princess?
broke pre-order records for Nintendo, and I think it broke like sales records for like a release in March or something like that. But like it broke a couple of records.
It was their highest selling Zelda game of all time. So now part of that was because it was the game that looked closest to that demo we saw in Space World, where Link and
Yep.
Ganondorf were fighting in a sword fight, and it was like, oh shit, this is the Link I always wanted to see. And so, now we're getting another one. We're getting the Legend of Zelda that people always wanted to see, which is, people saw that demo for Breath of the Wild, and they saw more of this at this year's E3. This game's got a lot of hype behind it, and when they had their thing, and they were like, well, it's gonna sell. What was it called? It's got to sell at least 2 million. I'm pretty sure it's gonna sell 2 million just on probably over 2 million just to the people who own a fucking Wii U. You imagine what it's gonna do for the other system.
No, I think it's gonna do probably about a good million on pre-orders alone.
Well,
I think for
I
pre-orders
mean in
alone, it
total.
may do a million.
I mean in total,
I'd say about
aside from pre-orders, because that
Yeah.
doesn't mean anything. Like actual
The
sales,
pre-orders-
I think it will sell
Yeah.
more than 2 million just on the Wii U alone.
Yeah, agreed. Because the whole thing is pre-orders. Let's be real, Doc. And I've been guilty of it myself, although I haven't done it often. People will pre-order something and then change their mind and switch to
Forget
something
about
else.
it. Forget about
Or
it. 'Cause I bought stuff and I put $5 down. I was like, I'm not gonna actually
I did it.
buy the thing.
You know the irony behind the statement? I did that for Final Fantasy 13.
Yeah.
I
I do
pre-ordered
that.
it.
That is a game that should never be mentioned during one of my podcasts. Okay.
Why the heck?
So yeah, I pre-ordered
Why the game?
Final Fantasy 13, and I did not pick it up for almost 8 months.
I did not pre-order that game. I waited till it was in the clearance rack at GameStop, and I bought it for like $15.
I got mine from GameFly. I got the day after release. I played the shit, beat it, sent it it back. The second one came out, did the same thing. But when they were talking about, oh, well, you got to pay like $10 for the rest of the story.
The
I
real
said,
ending.
okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
No more.
Yeah,
The one genre that is story focused, you're gonna charge me for the rest?
For the
Fuck
real ending.
you,
Yeah.
man.
yeah,
Like, I'm done.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
I played all three of them. I got the second one. I got on no, not on PC. I got it on PS3. I actually did. I didn't get the story ending. I watched it on YouTube. But
Let's not talk about this game, please.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I played through all of them,
Yeah, that's
and
right.
I hate that
I
entire
would,
trilogy.
I would rather pretend the NX is gonna be twice as powerful as the PS Neo.
It is. It's gonna be 3 times more powerful than the Neo and 4 times more powerful than the most powerful console ever released, the Scorpio. So, yeah.
Well, let me ask you guys this.
It's gonna be able to give. It's gonna be able to
It's
give
gonna
you. It's gonna be able to give you
it's gonna come
raw
out the
quantum.
box with 8 titty flops.
No,
If-
no.
It's gonna be able to.
Let me ask you guys
It's gonna be able to give you raw 20K uncompressed footage. It's gonna be so surreal. You'll feel like it's coming out of the TV and touching you.
Okay,
Well,
okay,
let
you
me ask
guys.
you guys
Okay,
this.
let's pull it back. It's gonna only be 8K. Calm down.
No, it's gonna
How
have
much do you think it's
wheels.
gonna cost? Like, if you have to give, based on the information we've gotten directly from Nintendo, and maybe a couple of rumors, such as a cartridge rumor and the being a hybrid rumor, how much you think whatever's gonna release in March, whether it be the
250.
whole thing or
300.
partial, how much is it gonna be?
250.
300.
300 max.
Yeah.
If it's a
Between
if it's,
250 and 300.
if it's just a portion, probably 250. If it's the whole thing, I'm looking at like 400. If it's a hybrid.
If it's everything together, I say no more than 350.
Okay, let me ask you guys this then. We know that Nintendo said it's gonna launch Breath of the Wild is gonna launch on the Wii U and the next thing simultaneously.
Uh-huh.
What if that game was bundled in?
That's totally gonna sell consoles, and you know they're gonna be retailer bundles where they're gonna be like, this is you get Nintendo's next console. You also you put down this much, you're gonna get the game too. And I mean, people are gonna do that. I mean,
No,
we
I
already
mean,
know that.
but I mean, like, what if it truly is bundled in, like typically like a Mario game would be, like Wii
Um,
Sports was. Like, what if you buy this, next console or handheld, and Breath of the Wild is a game that's like bundled with it, like out of the box.
No, no,
um,
they're not gonna.
I
No,
don't
they might
think.
have a SKU with it. I
Yeah,
don't think they would be bundled with it.
I don't think they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna bundle because when Nintendo bundles games with consoles, they normally bundle their it's either a Mario game or like a double A game or a single A game. It's never like one of their major hitters. So
Yeah, it's gonna be probably like Nintendo Land 2 with like online support or something random,
yeah,
that's fun.
which would be awesome if they
it's
did it.
gonna be a
But we
demo
know
that's
that's
gonna
not
be
gonna
fun.
happen.
Yeah, it's gonna be the tech
Yeah,
demo for the system, but like fun. Like Wii Sports was the tech
Yep.
demo for Wii.
exactly.
And Nintendo Land was a tech demo for
It's gonna be
the
Meet Some More Rumble.
Wii Sports.
You
Well,
create your Mii's and have them beat each other up like Smash Brothers.
well, they
Oh
tend to
shit!
And they have track and field events mixed in.
they tend to use they tend to put basically a game that's a tech
It's gonna
demo for
be
what the system
Federation
can
Force
do.
HD.
Yeah, if they do that, I'll be all right with it. It's like it's Federation Force. No, it's Nintendo Land 2. Except they add online capability and maybe some more in-depth games because that Metroid game is pretty damn badass actually.
hmm
I play it.
People
What do you
sleeping on
guys?
that. People sleeping on that game.
What do you guys think
Federal Land is awesome.
if they do go to cartridge? What size do you think it would be? Honestly, like me, I said that with Nintendo being the masters of compression when it comes to their games, I think a 64 gig card would be enough for them, and I chose that size because it would really harken back to the last system that home console that used cartridges. It would be
64.
really cool if they did that, but I'm pretty sure the players say they may go with like maybe a 128 gigabyte card, but
Yeah.
I was
64
gonna say,
gigabyte it will be extremely cheap. And come on, I mean, what game today is actually that large? Like even the games on the PS4 and Xbox One, if you really look at them, they're putting these shits on a disc for the most part, they tend to be a little bit under 50 gigs.
Well, as lazy
I
as
see
these damn
what-
cards are, they'll probably just port the PC version with high resolution textures to the system.
120 gig is going to be the standard.
Yeah, so I mean, they're still gonna do. I mean, they're gonna try and basically use up all the space they can because they're lazy. They don't want to optimize for anything. So they just want to lazily port stuff over. So they could very well use a 50 gig, 60 gig game on one of these cartridges.
Okay, and the rest you think it's gonna be 128 gigabyte card?
I mean, the card is going to be 120 gigabyte. They won't always utilize that much data, obviously, because this is Nintendo we're talking about.
Well, yeah, I know that. I'm just saying, but what size card do you think it will be, just in general? I'm thinking 64 gigabyte.
I don't think it'd be that much. I don't think it'd be that much. I mean, I'm thinking 32.
32 gigabyte
No.
cart because the disc now holds 25 gigs, and even the Wii U disc holds 25 gigs. I can see them only going slightly above that.
They wouldn't go. They wouldn't. I don't think they'll go below 64
I'm
gig.
saying 32 because you know how Nintendo compresses. They rarely go to the limit unless it's like Xenoblade or Zelda.
Well, I can say this: if they did use a 32 gig or 64 gigabyte cart, it would be so insanely cheap because I mean you can't even really find a 64 gigabyte SD card in stores. It's hard. Like you can pretty much find 128 gigabyte. Well, that's for flash drives, but even still, for an SD size card, it's hard to find anything below 64 gigabyte.
That's true. No, they have 32 and 12.
Well, I certainly hope they do go back to it, man, because as I've said in a recent podcast, it will be them returning to the Yamauchi days where if people want to put games in their system, I'm sure Nintendo's going to be like, well, so how good do you think your game is? Oh, we think it's great. So you think it's going to sell about 500,000 copies? Okay, yeah, we think that. All right, so 500,000 cards is going to cost you X amount of dollars. Wait, what, we got to buy them? Well, yeah, you do, because we don't trust you. So if your game is going to be successful, how about you front the bill?
Here's what I'm looking at. They'll probably have a couple different sizes for carts. They'll probably have one that they use for themselves mostly, which would be more or less on the smaller end because they compress. And then they'll probably have a larger one for third-party developers since they don't really compress.
So basically the Super FX chip all over again.
Yep.
64 gigabyte one and a 128 gigabyte just to cover all bases.
Yep.
And instead of charging just an individual licensing fee, then they'll just charge the fee for the cartridge instead of a regular license, and then the cartridge fee would be the license fee.
Yep.
Yep, I can see that. And I actually think that's going to be more likely going to be a key because, I mean, as Liger Venduo said, and shout out to him, when he visited Nintendo Japan, he said that it seemed to him, from what he saw, their mentality was, fuck third parties.
And who could blame him?
And yeah, like you're right, who could blame them? I
Hey,
mean,
no.
and-
Wait. Hold on. Let's be clear on this, because you're going to get them in trouble. Whether it's true or not, they're talking about the people who are designing the games are just annoyed with third parties. Don't say Nintendo says screw third parties, because that's going to fuel the flames of a whole bunch of bullshit we don't deal with.
Well,
Just want to clarify that.
I'm not gonna. Okay, you're right. We shouldn't.
We know they're gonna
put words in their mouth.
listen. We know they're gonna talk shit regardless. But do you really want to add to the bullshit?
No, look.
I
We're not
don't.
gonna put words in their mouth. But I'll just put it this way: as a business
I'm
owner,
not saying I don't blame them for feeling that way for the record. I'm
No.
just saying don't be yelling out Nintendo's like screw third party. No,
As a-
Nintendo is fucking annoyed with third party.
yeah, as a
Big
business
difference.
owner, if someone fucked me over in business multiple times, said they were going to provide a service or a good, and they either canceled the delivery or in other ways tried to fuck me financially in the business deal multiple times, I'd probably be at a certain point. I'd be like, you know what? These bastards aren't trustworthy, and I'm going to find a way to go around them or find an alternate means of service.
Right,
So-
and I'm sure Nintendo's doing just that. But you don't want to just say that. They don't want to burn the bridges, even if though it's technically already burnt.
Yeah, those these bridges are ashes. They're ashes in the
They've
water at this
been,
point.
it's freaking bombs. It's like Contra. They just blew that shit all the way up.
Yeah, people are like, well, you shouldn't ashes. Look, listen. How some of these third parties been acting, Ubisoft, EA, Activision. Well, Activision has been trying to play both sides against the middle. No, man, no. We totally are behind you, even though we don't put any of our AAA games on the system. But look, we got your back, dog. Really. Seriously.
Way back. Like, we don't even know how far back. But we're there. We're still there. Don't worry.
They skip like none of the major like the blockbuster titles for Activision have hit, but they'll put that shitty Skylanders on it though, because that's what people want. They want a shitty Skylanders.
Of course.
Yeah, they had like Bowser and Donkey Kong, like something like that.
Because, Nintendo, we only want the cutesy shit and the shit for the general public, so, that's why Ubisoft only gives Just Dance and all those other stuff, because who plays real games on Nintendo? I mean, seriously.
I'm playing Tokyo Mirage Sessions right now.
I enjoy Just Dance. Well, up to Just Dance 4 anyway.
Oh, I'm not saying the games are horrible, I'm just saying, let's be real. We don't play only party games on Nintendo consoles.
I'll say it, the game is horrible, and I would rather have Wii Karaoke U.
I've never played either one of those games, so I don't know what to tell you.
Slap yourself.
What, does anybody else have any more concerns or questions regarding the fabled NX and what it may bring to the table or not bring?
Unless it has...
Go ahead, and your mic still sounds distant.
Oh, you sound like your mic is 10 feet away from you.
Does it sound better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You sound like you're whispering into my ear. It's creepy.
Look, when it feels like he's breathing on your neck, that's when you got to be worried.
And he gave the very white point.
That's why I'm gonna disconnect the connection.
See, and then he came with the very white. Do I sound clear now?
We gotta
You are not allowed to say that, Doc, because you're trying to seduce your viewers most of the damn time.
You're damn right, man. I'm trying to get my sub count up, man.
I just lost 5 subs the other day, and I don't even know why.
Oh, the whole YouTube thing happened.
That's right.
The Markiplier, he uploaded a picture on Twitter. He lost over 300,000 subs because of that.
I was gonna say, if you want to get your sub count up, to feel good, then
I don't give a shit if I only had 1 sub. I really wouldn't care.
I'm just saying, if you want to get your sub count up to feel good, then I heard
I'm not drinking any orange juice.
Yourself.
Shut up! I'm not doing that. Moving on. What were you gonna say, Andre? Game idea guy, you there? What the hell? Oh, he's not there. Anybody else? Until he comes back.
I ain't got no.
What was it on again?
Anything you want to bring up about the NX? What it may bring, what it may not bring?
I'm not concerned about that. Whatever Nintendo does, whatever.
Go ahead, Andre.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. No, see, my interesting thought, and this is a recent thought I had, is that they're probably going to try to do something with augmented reality and projection.
Mm-hmm.
I said that before. You're late to the table, bastard, but continue.
Just think of it this way. What if they put out a console that has a built-in projector that utilizes augmented reality? Sort of like people don't realize this, but the iToy was basically augmented reality.
Yeah,
Tony Stark technology.
Cool.
Yeah, I can see that.
If they came up with something like that, that would actually be pretty interesting.
Yeah, but a lot of Nintendo's heroines would get very tainted.
Yeah, I don't think VR is the future, but I do think that AR, augmented reality, I think that could actually happen. Kind of like how they tried to do with the those AR cards for the 3DS, but realized like you don't
Take it
need
to
an
the
AR
next
card
level.
to do it.
Yep.
Well, Nova
There's
has
potential
another.
there. It just comes down to how to utilize it.
Well, Nova has another very interesting question before we end the podcast. He says, "Why do you think game journalists don't call out third parties for the inadequate support they provide their audience on in Nintendo consoles? When the NX
Cha-ching!
launches their hold on, but when the NX launches, there be at least some third-party games, but there should be more advocacy for gamers." And I agree.
Cha-ching! Cha-ching!
Got money.
Cha-ching!
It's
Money.
money. I
Cha-ching!
mean, more it's just money. That it's that simple. Nintendo has said this even when Iwata first took over, but they're not going to pay for advertising. They're not going to pay for a game. They're not going to do that. Their favorite means of advertising has always been word of mouth, and that's worked for them. Now, it won't always work to the best or to the best for them, but it does still work because they have dedicated and loyal fans. However, third parties have gotten used to getting blank paychecks just to have their game put on the system, and Nintendo has always said, "Fuck you, we're not going to pay you
To
for
do
your
your
game on
job.
our system
Yep.
because basically, without a console, without a platform, your game's just a concept. It's just an idea. It's
Yep.
something in your head that you got, or you got on your computer. But what is it without a platform? You can say you put on PC, but there are not.
Yes, I got Excalibur, bitch. Sorry.
It's, oh, what the hell?
I'm playing Final
but
Fantasy Explorer, sorry.
but Nintendo realized this. They never had to pay for it. People keep saying they could have paid for games for Wii U, and I agree they could have, but third parties need to know their place, and that's why shit has gotten so bad because they've forgotten their place because people are still paying them. Like Sony, even Microsoft has stopped paying their asses. Even the one that started the whole what that's been doing the most money having has stopped.
Bla-
So they've only
Blasphemy.
stopped. They've
Blessed
only
is the
stopped because
third party
they've only
and the
stopped because the
DLC and the
shareholders cut the budget.
microtransactions. Let it be
Yeah, they
known.
only
You
stopped
should
because
pay the first
they,
edition,
One at
the
a
end of the year
time,
edition,
people.
and all the other editions.
What were you saying, Double M?
I said the only
Screw you.
reason they're not money hacking, the only reason they're not money hacking is
I
because
love you
the
too.
shareholders cut the budget.
Yeah, Sony doesn't have the money to money hack, and Microsoft the purse strings were cut, so
True.
like, they
Trying
got
to
nothing.
sell that shit out and say, yeah, we're
Let's
creating
be real.
no
They're BSing.
third-party
Now
content
it,
for the fans.
Well, I
which is why I find it funny because now they're trying to say, oh yeah, we support more first-party content now, and we believe in exclusivity and blah blah. No, you're just saying that now because you can't afford to buy off the third parties anymore. So now like, oh crap, we actually gotta push up. Good.
But referring to this question, though, I can honestly say what's even funnier than what Microsoft has been doing, and I do applaud them for doing that, even though they were kind of forced to do it, is that now
No,
these
not
same
kind of.
third
They
parties,
are forced to do it.
now these third
Let's be
parties,
real.
they're coming out of the woodwork saying, "Oh yeah, we want to support the NX." It's like, well, why don't you support the Wii U? I mean, it still has a good year or two on its legs. You can put some games on that, and I'm pretty sure they'll sell decently if you take the time to do games right. But how you gonna jump to
Okay.
Nintendo's next system? You don't know what it
No,
is,
no.
but the Wii U is out of the question.
Now, now let me just say this, and I want to say before I say this that I'm being facetious and I'm exaggerating a little bit. But if your uncle molested you 10 years ago, would you go back? Would you go back to your uncle, no matter how great he is now?
Wow, do you have to be that extreme?
Why they have to
I
be
purposely said I purposely said I was going to be extreme and facetious. Come on. 'Cause, I'm not saying I'm not saying that's what happened, but based on their behavior, I think they felt like Nintendo did that to them back in the day.
Yeah, but the person
Like,
who got molested is you got to flip that. The people who got molested was Nintendo.
Well, it's based on perception. Like we know better, but that just because we know the truth doesn't mean the truth's known to everyone.
Hey man, it's like
And one thing, no, let me clarify one thing. One thing I did learn from my wife, because she learned this in her job, and her mom is actually an HR specialist amongst other things. Its perception is not. It's some serious shit because you could see one thing all day long. It doesn't matter. It comes down to how each individual perceives things. It's not cool, but that's how it is. If third party perceives Nintendo a specific way, until you can change that perception, it's always going to be seen that way. So the only thing Nintendo could do is either find a way to change their perception, or get them to change it on their own. Otherwise, they will forever see Nintendo as a molester, regardless of what they actually did or didn't do.
Well,
Perception is a bitch.
At this point, you know, a lot of these fake gamers are like, well, you know, I'll buy a Nintendo console, but it needs to have third-party support. Well, then you just ain't gonna buy a Nintendo console, because if you think that you're gonna see another age of, say, the
Super Nintendo
or the NES, that shit ain't happening.
Yeah, it might be funny. They don't have a problem picking up the other two consoles, though. You know, I could say, "Oh man, I'll pick up this system and have more exclusives," but hey, I'm one of the bad fan minority.
But that's because the other consoles is for grown-ups. It's for real gamers.
Yeah,
But you know, I would say this though.
I wish you guys could see the sarcastic look on my face when I said that. But anyways.
Yeah, that's what. But I mean, at the end of the day,
Red, I think you're right about one. I think you're wrong about one thing, Red. You are right that your gamers are wanting to about a system if you have third-party support. It may
These damn mosquitoes.
to the place with the next console, because they're going to cartridges. I'm pretty sure Nintendo's not going to just hand those bitches out. They're going to have to pay. If they want to be on the Nintendo console, I'm pretty sure Nintendo's going to be like, okay, you have to prove to us that you're good at what you do and you're willing to do it for the right reasons. So, yeah, go buy these cartridges, pay these fees, and you fund your own damn game. Oh, and after you do that, you know, we may require you, we're going to test your shit out and see if it's up to par. And if you want our quality seal on it, quality product seal on it, then...
So essentially what you're saying is the NX will be, for every 10 games on the NX, 9 of them will be Nintendo first party. Gotcha.
More than likely. Because what's going to happen...
Yeah.
But see, what's going to happen is this. Eventually, third parties, if you think about what Microsoft's doing, Microsoft cut the purse strings, so they're not money heading anymore. And if they are, it's not nearly as much as it used to be. Not even close. And Sony...
Third party's going to eventually dwindle down to... They're going to become indies.
Have the money at all.
At best.
Yeah, see, Sony doesn't have the money to continue to money head like Microsoft was doing in the beginning. So eventually, the truth about Sony is going to come out, and they won't have money to pay third parties. What are third parties going to do? Go say, well, hell, we'll just release it on PC. You still got to pay licensing fees to certain people like Steam and such. So you have to go somewhere. And the PC market is not as big as people say it is. Everyone may have PCs, but not everyone's playing major titles on PCs. So if you want,
there's always the mobile market, but even that's a gamble.
Yeah, because most mobile games end up being free, or they have a lot of transactions, which most people don't really give into unless you're Angry Birds or a few other key games out there. So they're going to have a choice. They're either going to become indie, or if you want to still make your big budget titles or whatnot, you're going to have to play by Nintendo's rules, because you won't be able to get money from Microsoft.
Ooh.
You won't be able to get money from Sony.
We've said this before, but I got to say it. I predict that 90% of the current third parties will be indies at best within the next 5 to 10 years.
But in the words
of
business, we need the middle market back. See, all these big publishers bought out the middle market companies like BioWare and a few others. We need them back, because not every game that came out back in the 4th, 5th, 6th, and even 7th gen.
They're going to force their way back. What's going to happen? What's going to happen is most of these third parties are going to lose a lot of their power, and a lot of these indies are going to get stronger. So they're going to be a pseudo party soon enough.
Well, we're already seeing
it's just money. It's finances.
Well,
yeah, we're already see it. So like way forward, and all these other companies are getting a lot stronger for indies.
Well, we're seeing indies grow up and become they're becoming the mid market, because when THQ and Acclaim and Midway fell, we lost the mid-market, and you need the mid-market, because some of the best games that ever came out were mid-market titles. I mean, not all of them were AAA. A lot of them were mid-market, like your Gauntlet Legends, your Turoks, your
that is true.
Your
I miss Turok. Oh my god.
your Shadowmans, your Extreme G's.
Yep.
Those were
Hell
mid.
yeah.
Those were
Hell
middle market
yeah,
games.
yeah, NBA Jams.
Yeah, that was a mid-market game. That was not a game for.
Yeah.
That was not a title.
Hands
It was
on
not a title.
fire!
Yeah. So people need to just calm the fuck down and stop being weird.
Weird.
Well, technically, most gamers are technically weird. If we're
Weird
not
or
weird, we won't be
thirsty?
gamers. That's just
Well, they're acting.
yeah. There you go.
They're not
Not
thirsty.
stop being so thirsty.
They're acting dumb. They're like, well, this game doesn't have this game. Like gamers now, I've heard gamers say, well, unless the game's AAA, I'm not buying it. Are you fucking stupid?
Well, what you also have to remember is a lot of these are quiet gamers. They aren't the gamers that like.
They're not like
Gaming
us.
used to be niche.
That's not like.
Gamers used to be niche.
Yeah, they're not like here.
Gaming became popular. It's still niche, but it's become a lot more popular. So a lot of people that would never, ever in a million years be gamers are now pretending to be gamers.
Yep.
Like, let's be real. You go online right now, you see all these quote-unquote cool people that are gamers. Bullshit. Gamers aren't cool. We have our cool moments, but we're not cool.
Well, we'll table this for a different podcast.
You can pretend all you want that you're cool. You're not.
We'll end it here before you offend everybody. But we'll probably say this for the next podcast.
No, 1 minute, bitches.
I do want to thank everybody for their questions and for tuning in. You guys are great. Special shout out to Nova Region, Triple M, Brownie. But go ahead and give your sign offs, and I'll start with the game idea guy.
Well, people, sorry I was late, but again, notifications didn't want to work, and Google doesn't like me for some reason. So, gotta work that out. I'm gonna have to go to counseling with Google and figure out what the problem is. But
you keep touching it all the time, man. You need to ease up on that.
You gotta slap Google around a little bit. It'll get used to it.
I'm going on something else I'm not even talking about. Might want to check those issues out. But
My issues got issues, so that's gonna take too long.
Stop compounding this. Alright. Just check my channel.
Go ahead.
But there's a bunch of stuff I'm working on. Why You Know Game. I have something I'm working on that's going to be kind of funny that I want to do, and then there's a couple other things. I have an update video on my channel. Just go ahead and check that. It explains basically everything. And just check around my channel for random videos. As of late, I've put out a lot of videos. People have liked to hear my perspective about certain things, and I'm feeling pretty good about that, so that's going to keep happening a lot too. But that's it. Thank you guys for listening. As I always say, enjoy your games, otherwise you suck.
Next up, we got Double M. Double M, you there? He's probably knocked the hell out right now.
You bloody bastard.
Go ahead, Red Fox.
Yeah, it's me, Mr. Red Fox. You may know me as the man who takes no BS from anybody and calls it out when I see it. Basically, I have Saturday a podcast at 7 Eastern Standard Time that's all about a topic that's near and dear to my heart, retro gaming. We'll be talking about, problems with retro gaming, things to watch out for, easy systems to collect for, fun stuff like that. So I hope you guys look forward to it. And that's
topic.
All right. Next up, we got Spryte-WiiMix.
Yeah, great podcast. It ain't got much to say. Keep calm, people. They're just games.
It's not true. It's my life. It's all I've got.
It's also your reputation nowadays. But go ahead, good Shepherd.
Sad state we've come to. Hey, it's the Good Shepherd. What's good? This is what's going on. I got multiple videos coming out. I have collaborations, obviously, with the good doctor himself, Dr. Feelgood. We're gonna have a collaboration. I just gotta set the date. My wife is kind of hemming and hawing with me. We're gonna have to fight about that. So we're gonna team up with his wife as well. We're gonna do some live talk. We're gonna also do. We got a It's All Good segment coming up. It's gonna be me and the doc talking about any and everything. So that should be interesting. Yes, I threw you under the bus, doc. Just deal with it. And I'm gonna have my own video coming up regarding E3. I know it's already gone and passed, as well as upcoming Tokyo Game Show and some other stuff, gaming related. Also, just to let you guys know, there's no Gamers at Large episode this Sunday because it's the 4th of July weekend. So if you're a Gamers at Large cat and you're listening to this podcast, just know there's no Gamers at Large this Sunday.
Hey, you think we should go ahead and just do one anyway, man? Just for the hell of it?
Oh, we might throw something together, but it won't be the official Gamers at Large. It'll just be, and that's another thing. Just to let you guys know, we're getting back to the root of Gamers at Large. So expect a lot more random casts and just down-to-earth conversations. And just let you know, the whole wedding, bachelor party thing on the Buttercast, that stuff like that's coming more in the future. Maybe not as drunk and as crazy, but it's coming. Gamers at Large is a real thing.
We're going to be hunting your people, man.
We're gonna be coming through, son, because we're gamers and we know how to have fun.
That sounds.
And we have real real friendships. We actually get along with each other. It's not just some fake internet BS.
That sounded a
All
little.
And that's all.
May I get involved in this orgy too?
Hey, and I am.
Just the fact you said that, you're forever banned. You are forever banned. You are abolished.
You just took it too far.
I am the host, Dr. Feelgood. I want to thank all of you for tuning in. I want you to scratch out that last comment about Spryte-WiiMix.
You creepy bastard.
As I always say, and keep it gaming. And as I've said recently, in a couple of noteworthy podcasts,
I feel molested. Ugh. I'm going to take a shower.
And I'll leave it at that. He was dead wrong.
That was wrong, dude. That was totally wrong.
And just know the NX will massage your feet. Juicy Fruit approved.